An oni is a kind of yokai, demon, orc, ogre, or troll in Japanese folklore. Oni are mostly known for their fierce and evil nature manifested in their propensity for murder and cannibalism. Oni possess intriguingly complex aspects that cannot be brushed away simply as evil. They are typically portrayed as hulking figures with one or more horns growing out of their heads. Stereotypically, they are conceived of as red, blue, black, yellow, or white colored, wearing loincloths of tiger pelt, and carrying iron kanabo clubs. They are creatures which instill fear and feelings of danger due to their grotesque outward appearance, their wild and sometimes strange behavior, and their powers. They are popular characters in Japanese art, literature, and theater, and appear as stock villains in the well-known fairy tales of Momotaro, Isshunboshi, and Kobutori Jisen. Although oni have been described as frightening creatures, they have become tamer in modern culture as people tell less frightening stories about them, like Oni Mask and Red Oni Who Cried. Shuten Doji has been regarded as the most famous and strongest oni in Japan. The legend of Shuten Doji has been described since the 14th century in various arts, traditional performing arts, and literature such as imakimono, jorori, no, and kabuki. The tachi, Japanese longsword, dojigiri, with which Minamoto no Yorimitsu decapitated Shuten Doji in the legend, is now designated as a national treasure and one of the Tenka Goken, or 5 greatest swords under heaven. Oni no Kanabutsu is one of the themes of Otsu-e, a popular genre of painting from Otsu, Shiga Prefecture. It depicts an oni wearing monk's clothing and performing winter training. Kanabutsu is a part of Buddhist religious training. It involves getting up before dawn on winter mornings and patrolling the streets loudly reciting prayers, Nainbutsu. Oftentimes devotees bang a gong while repeating the name of Buddha, and visit house to house to collect alms. It is performed by ascetics and lay people alike. Depictions of yokai oni vary widely, but usually portray them as hideous, gigantic ogre-like creatures with a single horn or multiple horns emerging from their heads, with sharp claws, wild hair, and fang-like tusks. They are often depicted wearing tiger skin loincloths and carrying iron clubs called kanabo. This image leads to the expression oni with an iron club, or oni ni kanabo, that is, to be invincible or undefeatable. Their skin may have various colors, but red, blue, and green are particularly common. They may sometimes also be depicted as black-skinned, or yellow-skinned. They may occasionally be depicted with a third eye on their forehead, or extra fingers and toes. They are predominantly male but can be female. Females becoming oni has been attributed to them being overcome with grief or jealousy. Oni can come in many different sizes, ranging in both weight and height. Otsu was a major station on both the Tokaido and Nakasendo roads connecting Edo with the rest of the country. It is also home to a number of important religious sites, including Inryaku-ji, Midera, and Hiyoshi Taisha. A great number of travelers passed through the city, and it was an important destination for religious pilgrims. Paintings from Otsu were produced by Otsu's residents and sold as souvenirs and as protective charms to pilgrims and travelers visiting the city. These paintings became immensely popular during the Edo period. They depicted a number of common themes, usually with a moral or satirical meaning. Oni no Kanabutsu is one of the most well-known and popular Otsu-e themes. Traditionally, Oni no Kanabutsu pictures were sold as a remedy for colicky children who cry all night long. The Oni is depicted wearing monk's robes and looks ready to perform winter training. He carries a gong, a wooden mallet, and a donation registry. The only thing he is missing is a clean soul. It is said that an Oni's residence is the human heart. Their horns are the manifestation of the 3 poisons of Buddhism, which are the root of all evil: delusion, attachment, and hatred. The more we express our ego, use things for our benefit, see things through our own eyes, and act in our own self-interest, the more our horns grow. The Oni in monk's garb is similar in meaning to a wolf in sheep's clothing. The painting is a satire of monks and priests who dress and act pious, but who actually behave in a manner more fitting an Oni than a Buddha. This kind of comical depiction of religious hypocrisy is a theme frequently found in yokai art. There is a hidden message in Oni no Kanabutsu. One of the Oni's horns is broken. In other words, this Oni may be trying to break out of its self-delusion. The broken horn shows that it has succeeded to some degree, serving as a role model and a reminder for viewers to do the same. So on one level, the image is a caricature of religious hypocrisy, but on another level, it can be seen as a reminder of the path to salvation. The character for Oni in Chinese also means a dead or ancestral spirit, and not necessarily an evil specter. Accordingly, Chinese Taoist origins for the concept of Oni have been proposed. Particularly powerful Oni may be described as Kishin or Kijin, a term used in Japanese Buddhism to refer to wrathful deities. The Oni was syncretized with Hindu Buddhist creatures such as the man-devouring Yaksha and the Rakshasa, and became the Oni who tormented sinners as wardens of hell, Jigoko, administering sentences passed down by hell's magistrate, King Yama. The hungry ghosts called Gaki have also been sometimes considered a type of Oni. Accordingly, a wicked soul beyond rehabilitation transforms into an Oni after death. Only the very worst people turn into Oni while alive, and these are the Oni causing troubles among humans as presented in folk tales. Some scholars have even argued that the Oni was entirely a concept of Buddhist mythology. Oni bring calamities to the land, bringing about war, plague, illness, earthquakes, and eclipses. They have the destructive power of lightning and thunder, which terrifies people through their auditory and visual effects. Oni have a massive appetite for human flesh and can eat a person in a single gulp. They are said to suck in a human's vital energy and devour her or his flesh. Oni are capable of transforming into both male and female forms at will, and can change from their grotesque form to a handsome man so that they can gain the trust of their victim. According to Chinese Taoism and esoteric Onmyodo, the ways of yin and yang, the northeasterly direction is termed the Kimon or demon gate and considered an unlucky direction through which evil spirits passed. Based on the assignment of the 12 zodiac animals to the cardinal directions, the Kimon was also known as the Ushitora, or ox-tiger direction. One hypothesis is that the Oni's bovine horns and tiger skin loincloth developed as a visual depiction of this term. Temples are often built facing that direction. For example, Inryaku-ji was deliberately built on Mount Hiei, which was in the Kimon, northeasterly, direction from Kyoto in order to guard the capital, and similarly Kane-ji was built towards that direction from Edo Castle. However, skeptics doubt this could have been the initial design of Inryaku-ji Temple, since the temple was founded in 788 BCE, 6 years before Kyoto even existed as a capital, and if the ruling class was so feng shui-minded, the subsequent northeasterly move of the capital from Nagakakyo to Kyoto would have certainly been taboo. Japanese buildings may sometimes have L-shaped indentations at the northeast to ward against Oni. For example, the walls surrounding the Kyoto Imperial Palace have notched corners in that direction. The traditional soybean throwing custom to drive out Oni is practiced during Setsubun Festival in February. It involves people casting roasted soybeans indoors or out of their homes and shouting Oni wa soto. Fuku wa uchi, meaning Oni go out. Blessings come in. This custom has grown from the medieval ritual of Tsuina, Chinese, Nuo or Oni Yarai, a year-end rite to drive away Oni ghosts. Regionally around Tottori Prefecture during this season, a charm made of holly leaves and dried sardine heads are used as a guard against Oni. Oni are featured in Japanese children's stories such as Momotaro or Peach Boy, Ishunboshi, and Kobutori Jisen. In more recent times, Oni have lost some of their original wickedness and sometimes take on a more protective function. Men in Oni costumes often lead Japanese parades to dispel any bad luck, for example, Onigawara on the roof of Tokyo National University of Fine Arts and Music. Japanese buildings sometimes include Oni-faced roof tiles called Onigawara, which are thought to ward away bad luck, much like gargoyles in Western tradition. Many Japanese idioms and proverbs also make reference to Oni. For example, the expression Oya ni ninu ko wa Oni no ko, translated as a child that does not resemble its parents is the child of an Oni, may be used by a parent to chastise a misbehaving child. They can be used in stories to frighten children into obeying because of their grotesque appearance, savage demeanor, as well as how they can eat people in a single gulp. Momotaro, the Peach Boy, is a well-known story about an elderly couple having the misfortune of never being able to conceive a child, but they find a giant peach that miraculously gives them a boy as their child. As the boy grows, he is made aware of an island of demons where the people are captured and, after their money is taken, kept as slaves and a source of food. Momotaro sets out to travel to the island with some cakes specially made for him, and while on his journey, he meets a dog, a monkey, and a pheasant who partner up with him to defeat the demons on the island, and once the demons have been taken out they recover the treasures and return them to the rightful owners. Momotaro and his companions, after accomplishing their goal, all return to their respective homes. Oni Mask is a story where a young girl goes off to work at a lady's house to make money for her ailing mother. She talks to a mask of her mother's face once she is done with her work to comfort herself. One day, the curious co-workers see the mask and decide to prank her by putting on an Oni mask to replace the mother's mask. Seeing the Oni mask, she takes it as a sign that her mother is worse and not getting better, so she leaves after alerting her boss. After trying to run to her mother's side, she is sidetracked by some men gambling by a campfire. The men catch her and ignore her pleas to let her go to her mother and instead make her watch the fire so it does not go out during the game. While she is stoking the fire, she decides to put on the Oni mask to protect her from the flames. At that moment, the men see only a brightly lit Oni through the red glowing flames and, terrified, run away without gathering their money. The girl, after having made sure the fire would not go out, gathers the money, and waits for the men to return for it, but as time grows, she remembers she was going to see her mother and runs to her mother. While she is at home, she sees her mother is healthier than before, and because of the money the gamblers left behind, she has enough to take care of her without going back to work at the lady's house. The Red Oni Who Cried is a story of two Oni, one red the other blue. The red one wants to befriend humankind, but they are afraid of it, making the Red Oni cry. Knowing what the Red Oni wants, the Blue Oni devises a plan to make himself the villain by attacking the houses of the humans and allowing the Red Oni to save the humans from the Blue Oni, making the Red Oni a hero to the humans' eyes. After the humans see the Red Oni protect them from the Blue Oni, they determine that the Red One is a good Oni whom they would like to be friends with, which is what the Red One wanted. Seeing this exchange, the Blue Oni decides to leave so as not to cause any misunderstanding with the humans. When the Red Oni decides to go home to his friend the Blue Oni, he notices that the Blue Oni is gone and realizes what the Blue Oni has done for him and cries from being touched by the Blue Oni's thoughtfulness and wonderful friendship. The Oni are a powerful force in Japanese mythology and folklore. They are often depicted as fearsome creatures with horns and tusks, and they are also known to be incredibly strong. Despite their fearsome appearance, they are also said to be wise and can even grant favors to those who prove themselves worthy. The Oni are a reminder that there is more to the world than meets the eye, and that even the most fearsome creatures can have a powerful and important role in our lives.